Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, it is a bit windy this morning and quite cool, actually. So it's picking up. The weather's changing absolutely. If you look at my trees back there closely, you'll see that the leaves are changing color and a lot of them are falling off. So this background's not probably going to look like this much longer, but we'll enjoy it while it does. Well, guys, I first want to say, had a fantastic live stream on the weekend. Really enjoyed interacting with everybody. And if I didn't get to your question, please forgive me. I know next time I'm going to try to pay more attention to the questions going on there. It was hard because it was my first one, and there I am looking at the little eyeball there to make sure that you guys got my eye-to-eye contact and really undivided attention. And then meanwhile, I take a look at the comment section that was kind of running that feed there. And of course, it was going up and up and I'd miss some and this and that. And anyway, guys, I just enjoyed it and really appreciate y'all so much. Well, guys, I have been reading some really wild articles out there. Now, I want to go over most of them that deal with our space. So I guess there's an act out there, the Stablecoin Transparency Act. Now, this one has a lot of support on both sides of the aisle here. And what it would do if it comes into play, it would be the first crypto regulation that actually has passed Congress, number one. And what it's going to involve is, with all these stablecoins, number one, I think they're going to get rid of or disallow or make, algorithmic stablecoins out the door. But the other thing is any stablecoin that's tied to the US dollar 1-to-1, they're going to have to go through audits, regular audits, I think once every 30 days. And on top of that, some heavier audits, maybe once or twice a year. But they have to be backed by dollars. And any securities like treasury bills that are backing them, those have to be validated as well. And so this is going to have a lot of reverberations. Now, if you get that level of confidence in this marketplace, I think you're going to see this market take off big time. This will be a big boon. Now, if some of these ones like Tether are kind of fudging the books, that's going to come out too. And then that could have negative consequences. Let's hope they're not, in that field. Now, on top of that, guys, I saw there that South Korea, there's a couple prosecutors out there that are looking for software to track and monitor crypto transactions. So the government would be monitoring all these crypto transactions. Now, I believe that's probably knee-jerk reaction to what happened with Terra Luna and Do Kwon. But needless to say, pool guy, I can't wait till he's done that pool. But needless to say, that will have huge reverberations across the entire marketplace because South Korea is a big hub for blockchain. And of course, Singapore, again, another big hub for blockchain, Dubai, all these places. And the last thing we need is this kind of like overreach of monitoring and tracking. I mean, that's where we're really concerned when it comes to the CBDCs. Now, also saw that Senator had written, I think it's Hickenlooper, I don't know, some weird name like that. Anyway, he's written a letter to the SEC saying, look, we need crypto regulation, crypto clarity, and all this and this and this. Well, here we got, not a very familiar name senator coming out with this letter. Now, I think when I see this kind of stuff, I think of all the background workings and doors, and then they just come out. They've already kind of nailed out what they want, and they say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, you write the letter, you put it, and this is how some of this stuff kind of gets out there. They've already had big discussions, and when you get these kind of reverberations going on, that we're very close to seeing some legislative proposals going out before Congress, and I think you're going to see them hit the floor of Congress after the November 8th election. That's my thinking, and we're going to see something really take place in this space probably over the next 6 to 8 months. That's at least what I'm thinking. And it'll have great impacts on this space. And I think we need regulation. It's the kind of regulation that we're getting. Let's not be silent here. Look, you get out there, you let your legislators know exactly what your thoughts and feelings are on this space. And, privacy matters so that when we go forward with some of these things, that we're able to keep our anonymity on certain issues with respect to these CBDCs. At least that's how I feel. Now, having said all that, guys, read another article on the whole Russian nuclear reverberations. And apparently, one of the prior generals or someone up there in the top military in England, in the UK, have come out and said the UK is dismally prepared for any kind of a nuclear conflict, whether it be tactical or not, or any kind of a conflict with Russia. Well, number one, that's kind of, why would you throw that out there and let me, well, I'm too weak to fight you kind of thing? That just doesn't make sense to me. But number two, I mean, you got to hold some of these governments over the years. They thought, oh, it's going to be peace and safety forever. And so what did they end up doing? A lot of the shelters that they had, they sold them out. They sold them to private hands and all this and this. They've been reconverted for different purposes and whatever. And now a country like, look, during World War II, man, the citizens of London, England alone, and what that country went through, having to have parents shipping their children overseas and on so they would be protected. It was something else. And look, you would think that after having a lesson like that, taught to you over those terms, that you would have some sort of backup plans and infrastructure in place so that your society and economy and on would have some fallbacks. But no, they don't. And it's almost unbelievable to be finding that out in the 11th hour. It's crazy. And so some of these politicians, you need to kind of holy mackerel, guys, you guys got to be hauled up, and there needs to be some accountability. At least that's how I feel about it. Because I doubt if they put some of this stuff out to referendum that the majority of the citizens say, oh yeah, that's a great idea. It just doesn't make rash. And you know what, guys, it isn't sensible. And the reason it's not sensible is because you know what? They're motivated by it. Investing in different companies. It's amazing to me that you'll see these politicians enter into Parliament, enter into the Congress, and they'll enter in, not being broke, but certainly not well off, and they come out practically billionaires when they're done. Please. And in fact, it's almost allowed for them to insider trade, where the rest of us will be locked up and thrown away in the clink for, and those of you from London, you know where the clink is and where that comes from. But you know what I mean? You'd be locked up and they'd be forgetting about you. But they can get away with almost murder. It's insane. And it does. It just boils my blood, because I just think how as far as I'm concerned, what a betrayal to your citizens when you've sold them down the road and put your country in such vulnerable positions. I'm not saying you have to be a country a warmongering country, but for certain, you've got the ability, you've got the financial ability for sure, you've got the infrastructure there. Protect your people. Provide them a level of security. Look, if I'm willing to die for my country, then my country should be giving me a reason to live, right? And that is the security and liberty that should be afforded to me in countries like this, in these democratic nations. But, I could go on and get on another soapbox with that. Well, guys, listen. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I've got some great videos planned out for this week. Boy, there's some really big movers in this space right now, and I've got a fantastic video for you later this afternoon on one of the ones that you just love already. So until then, I sure hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later this afternoon. Take care.